All right, so we have all of our groups, and so now I need a master control for being able to place my rig, orient it where it needs to go. I need to be able to scale the rig. I need to make things where I can uh, scale the object to match the scene. All right. Technically, everything should be modeled to scale anyway. You do run into situations where maybe you need multiple sizes of the same thing, and all you got to do is scale this, and you get different sizes. Whatever the case may be, I just like to be able to scale objects when necessary. So what I need to do is I need to make a master control here. So I'm going to create a control for the base. So I'm just going to go ahead and just create nerves primitive circle. I'm just going to make a large circle down here underneath. This is going to be my master. And I will name it I'll just call it master control. All right, so it's my master control. So now, on my master control, the first thing I want to do, after I've named it, I want to freeze transforms. This control has to be frozen to the world. All right, its manipulator should be at the origin. All right, this is the master control. This is for placement of the object. It should not have any kind of translations on it at all. All right. I also do not need to constrain anything to this control. All right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take my master control and I'm going to put it into my robot arm master group. So I'm going to take the master control, drag and drop it, middle mouse it right on top of the robot arm master. That puts it in the group. All right, see how it all changes? Next thing I need to do is my master control needs to be able to move the joints, the geo, and the controls. All right, so this is where things get a little weird, but I'll explain it in a second. So rather than do any kind of constraint or anything like that for this control, all we need to do to connect this is I need this master control to be the master over all the controls, but I also need it to be a master over all the joints. All right. So all I have to do is take the controls, shift select the joints, or command. Like if your geo's in the middle, you use command, whichever, or do them one at a time. Doesn't matter at all. I'll take both of these. I'm going to middle mouse drag and drop it right on the master control. All right. So now I have a master control. When I select it, notice how I have all the controls and I have all the joints. All right. At this point, my master control now controls the entire rig. All right. So if I grab this and I hit W and I say, let's move this guy around. Well, whenever I move it, look at that. Everything goes. The geo goes, the controls go, the IKs go, everything goes. All right. Also, if I hit R, look at this. My rig scales up. The entire rig scales now. All right. It now scales everything. Now, you might be looking at this and you might be like, well, what about the geo group? You didn't take the geo group with it. It's not part of that. So when I select the master, the only thing I have are the controls and the joints. The reason why I don't need the geo is because of the bind. All right. When you do a bind on a skin, like if I select the skin, notice how it's completely locked out. When I select the geo now, I can't move this. If I hit W, like I can't move this geometry. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't let me move it anywhere. All right. It will take a parent though. All right. So because of the bind, not only is it when you rotate it around or move the joint around that the geo goes with it, but also when you scale it. And so because of the fact that I took all of the joints and put them under this master control, when I scale the joint, that will also scale the geometry that's attached to it. All right. If it wasn't bound and I did this, I would get a piece of geometry that doesn't change. It would just sit there. And then when I scaled it, the geo would just sit there and it wouldn't scale with it. By the same token, if I take this geo group and I put it in my hang on a second. Okay, I need to make sure this is all zeroed out. If I take this geo and I put it on the master control, and I select my master control, and it looks like it's going to be fine. But whenever I scale it, watch what happens. My geo is scaling faster than the controls. This is what's known as a double transform. I am scaling the controls and the joints. Because the joints are bound to the geo, they're causing the geo to scale. But also, I have the geo in here, and it's getting scaled as well. So the geo is going to scale twice as fast as everything else because it's getting the bind scale plus the scale being applied to it. So to fix this, I just undo, 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 and I'm back to normal. All right. Don't worry about that scale on there. That's on the geo group. You can freeze that transform out beforehand if you want to. All right. And so now, at this point, the controls are all set up. Everything's good. Technically, at this point, I have a rig I can go in and animate. Now, it's not clean yet. I have to fix all this stuff because if I select all these controls, I can do all this crazy stuff. I can say, oh, let's do this. Well, that's broken. I don't want the animator to be able to do that, so we need to be able to lock this stuff out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one last video, and that is going to be how do you lock down the rig. All right, I have the rig done, but I just need to lock it down so the animator doesn't do anything crazy and make a mess. Okay, so next up, lock down the rig. All right, so I have all my controls in. Now I need to go in and I need to lock all the stuff out. I don't want the animator to be able to go into the base twist and do crazy stuff like this and break it. Now I have a busted rig. I don't want that to happen. All right, I also don't want him to be able to grab the control and do this. And where did my controls go? Or delete the controls or whatever. I don't want that to happen. All right, so how do we set this all up? All right, so first, the master control should always be wide open. All right, it should always have everything. I should be able to scale it. I should be able to rotate it. Maybe the arm is here, and maybe it's on a surface that needs to be tilted. So I need to be able to rotate it. I need to be able to scale it. I need to be able to translate it. I need the arm to be over in the corner of the room. I got to be able to translate it over there. So everything needs to be open on the master control. All right, put this back to 0. So the next thing I need to be able to do is another thing is the joints are visible. Like keep accidentally selecting joints, which is so annoying. All right. So because we did an entire hierarchy, all I got to do is go under my master control and select my joints and hide them. All right. So now I can hide the joints. I have a way of hiding my joints. All right. Now, for your turn in, please do not do this. I don't want to have to go and hide your joints. So leave your joints unhidden. But this is why we have these hierarchies in place. It allows me to do stuff like this. So I'll Shift H and bring this guy back. So for the sake of your turn in, I do need to be able to select the joints. So I don't want to have to go digging through your rig trying to figure out how to get the joints unhidden. So just leave the joints unhidden. Just know that that's there, and that's why that's there. All right. So next thing is I need to be able to go to these controls and lock out the controls. So the way we do this is we use the channel editor, and we will go in and turn off anything that we don't want to be able to use. All right, so for each control, we just need to figure out what it is it needs to do. So this is the base twist control. The only thing it should be able to do is rotate an X. That's all I needed to do. This is a locked off piece of metal that should not move this way. There's no reason for it to do that. I only want it to go this way. All right, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, all right, up here, I don't want to be able to translate this at all. I only want to be able to rotate an X. So I can let go and I'm going to rotate Y and I hold Command. I can click and hold Y, Z, scale X, Y, and Z. And the visibility I will leave because we may want to be able to turn control on and off, and we do that with the visibility. So I'm going to leave that open. All right. So with all this, the only thing I have is rotate X. So I will right click and I will say lock and hide selected. And when I do, what that does is that takes all those controls away and hides them. It locks them out so the animator can't animate them, and it hides them from the channel box so you can't see them anymore. If I go to the attribute editor, what happens is they turn gray. All right, so if I go to the controls, they will all be gray. I can't change those. All right, go back to my channel box. I should only see rotate X. Okay, so now if I grab this control, notice I can't rotate in Y, I can't rotate in Z, but I can rotate in X. I can do that. All right, so that's locked out. Awesome. So let's go on to the next one. This is all cake from this point forward. You just got to know what axis you're rotating. So now I have this one. This is my rotate arm. So I want it to do this. This I want. I don't want this. That's bad. All right. So, excuse me. So I will do this back. So I'm back to 0. So I only want rotate Z. So all I got to do is translate X, Y, Z, rotate X, Y, and then hop down, Command, scale X, Y, Z, and right click and lock and hide selected. So now it only rotates in Z. Now this is all I can do. I can do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. All right, so now I'm locked out. Now this is the only thing I can do. Cool. All right, on up to the next one. Same thing. Select this control. I should only be able to rotate this way. This is the only thing I want. That's my rotate Z. See it over there on the right. All right, Z back. Select everything. Command select all the scales. So only rotate Z is there. Right click, lock and hide selected. So now all I have is rotate Z in my visibility. All right, go up to the twist. Same thing. I want this. Don't want this. That's breaking. That's smashing all the metal through the metal. All right, so that is rotate X only. So translate X, Y, Z, command select Y, Z, scale X, Y, Z. All right, so only rotate X in visibility. Right click, lock and hide selected. Boom, rotate X. Rotate Z. Don't even need to look at it. It's rotate Z. Oops, I had the wrong thing selected. Back up here. There we go. Have all those selected. You can always just hold command and it selects, deselects, or whatever. You can just hold command when you do that. So it's rotate Z in visibility. Right click, lock and hide selected. Boom. Awesome. Go to this one. Now this one is rotate X, but I want to show you how to fix it if you screw up. So I get this question a lot. I'm sitting here lock and hide, and I realize, oh no, I locked and hid the wrong control or the wrong attribute. All right, so I'm gonna do the wrong one, so you can see how to fix it. So I'll say translate X, Y, Z, rotate X, Y, and rotate Z. Oops. Excuse me. So rotate Z, scale X, Y, Z, right click, lock and hide. And I go in, I'm like, all right, this is the twist, so I should be able to twist. Oh, nope, it won't twist. Oh no, I broke it. Now I've got smashing metal again. This isn't good. Now what do I do? How do I unhide this? All I have is this. All right. So with this selected, if you go up to edit, you have an option for channel control. All right. So now this is going to give you the master control box for all attributes. So it's every attribute. There's stuff in here you've never seen before that you didn't even know existed in Maya. All right. But and this is on every single object inside of Maya. So I'm going to say channel control. And so with whatever's currently selected, which is the arm upper twist control, we have two tabs. One is keyable, one is locked. So what's happened is we've done the wrong one. We have rotate Z. What we wanted was rotate X. All right. So first we're going to deal with the keyable portion of this, like what's visible here that I can see. All right. So I need to go to the non-keyable hidden, and I have rotate Z. What I needed was rotate X. All right. So I'm going to scroll down. And this is all in order. So these are all attributes that exist in Maya on all objects. So these are all transform options. So you have like rotate pivots and scales and templates and all kinds of crazy stuff. So what I'm looking for is rotate X. Now there's a lot of rotates. There's rotate axis X. There's rotate pivot, translate X, rotate pivot X, rotate quaternion X, and then rotate X. You already have rotate Z up here. So I already know what it's supposed to look like. So I need rotate X. So I'm going to select rotate X. And when you select an attribute in the middle, you now get these buttons. Like, what do you want to do? So I can move it to the right. And what that makes it is it's visible, but I can't key it. All right. So it's non-keyable and it's displayed. So if I accidentally do this, you'll notice that it shows up, but I can't ever key this. Like I can't do anything with this. All right. So I want to go the other way. So I'm going to move it, it's going to go away, and I'll move it again. So now it will be actually keyable. However, I have a new issue, and that is, you see how it's gray right next to it? It's also locked, so how do you unlock it? Well, one is, now that it's visible, I can right-click and I can say unlock. Or you can go to the locked thing here, and it's going to show you that X is locked, so you want to select it and move it to the right and unlock it. So now it's gray, or the gray went away, now it's normal. All right. But once it's visible up here, then you can right-click and get a hold of it, and now you can do anything you want in here. So this is the twist, so I wanted X. So I don't want Z. So I'm going to right-click on rotate Z and lock and hide. And so now Now it twists, and I can't grab it by this and make it move, so it won't rotate in Z. So awesome. I am now back to normal. So now I have that, and then finally I have the two claws, and these are going to be rotate Z. So that's this. So I don't want it to be able to bend any other way. So translate XY, rotate XY, command select, scale XYZ, lock and hide. So now it's just rotate Z. Same thing for the bottom one. Just rotate Z. Select all these, lock and hide. All right. All of that is now done. And at this point, my rig is locked down. I have my master that scales. I go to all the controls. They should all be 0. And then I should be able to move this around. All right. This guy, move it up and down. All right. Shouldn't be able to do this. All right. I know it's going to work because it'll be just the one attribute on there. All right. And at this point, I have a rig. I would save this as a rig file. Throughout all these videos, I did the big no-no. I did not save this one time, all the videos. So I'm going to save it now. So I'll do file, save scene as, and we'll just call this randomness underscore Joe CA3, and this is currently July of 2020, so I will do 2007, so it's 20, the year, and then the month, and underscore rig dot NA. All right, and save as. Continue. All right, and so at this point, now I have a fully functional rig. Okay, this is what you would turn into me. Now you still have to do a motion test, so you're gonna have to go in and animate all this stuff and show me that it works. However, real quick, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do a separate video. So I'm gonna do a video on how I grade this. So all right, so at this point, you have a rig that's done. You've saved this out, and you are good to go. Okay, you have a rig. So the next thing I'll show is how do I grade it, so you can kind of walk through your rig to see if you missed anything.